All right, so for today, we basically had three things that we need to do. We have a reflection sheet, which I know you don't have a copy of this, and that's okay. I'm going to have you email it to me instead. So what you're going to do with this is we're going to do one reflection today. And so we kind of talked about in class how in reading, we are basically talking about conflict. We're talking about characters, setting, and theme. We're really focusing on theme right now. But all of those things, character, setting, and conflict, are made in order to create that theme. Okay? And then we also talked about how in writing, you guys are working on narrative writing and how to create characters, how to create setting, how to create that conflict, which will all eventually tie back to a team or a theme. Sorry. So what you're going to end up doing with this, and I'm actually going to show you this on here. Give me a second. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to email me. Email Mrs. Dingman, and you're going to title it Reading and Writing Connection. And what you're going to do is you're basically going to type in your email, type how reading and writing are connected as of right now in our two classes. So think about what you are reading. Think about what you are learning in reading and writing and how they connect. Oh my gosh, connect to one another. Okay, so think about what we're learning about reading, and you can take my words. You can say, hey, you know what? In reading, we're learning about character, conflict, all that kind of stuff. I want you to be specific, and right, I want you to tell me how is what you're learning in reading right now, and how what you are learning in writing right now, how they connect. You should have, I don't know, about 3-4 sentences. 3-4 sentences. Just answering that. So how are reading and writing connected right now in these two classes with what you're learning right now? Okay? So think about all the things we talked about in reading. Think about all the things you guys have talked about in writing and how those two things connect to each other. Okay? Think about what you're learning in class now, not just all the time, but right now. Okay? So that's your first task. So if you want to go ahead and pause and go do that, that'd be great. And then you can come back. But that's kind of what you're doing. You're going to email me. You can title it Reading and Writing Connection, and then 3-4 sentences about how they connect to one another, about what we're currently learning. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing, second and third thing, I guess, what you're going to do is you are going to basically talk about theme again. So in a previous class, you guys ended up doing a document that looked very similar to, let me pull it out here. This right here, we ended up, oh, you can't see that, sorry. So we ended up doing this, and we filled it out in the sense of having a CER for the theme. So we told you what the theme was. Theme, goodness gracious. You decided what the theme was, and then you had to back that up with basically doing a CER, basically telling me how is that the theme of the story. Now, this is something that we did in class. We needed a little bit of help with that. When you guys turned those in, they didn't really come out the way I planned. And so then we ended up going in and doing this in class. So we ended up doing this as a class. We talked about how we could figure out what the theme was for a particular book. And then in order for us to explain how and why that is in fact the theme, we had to go back to things that maybe have happened to us, things that are happening in our brain. And then we also went back to specific things happening in the story. So you're essentially going to do the same thing with 2 of your stories. You may not have this, and you may not even know what stories you did, and that's okay. But essentially, the last 2 things that you're going to end up doing for me is you're going to go into Schoology, and you're going to go to your assignments, and you're going to click on Theme, and you're going to open up this document. This document looks like this. And you're only going to be doing it practice 1. So over here, practice 1 and practice 2. I know there's 4 practices. You are not doing all of them. You're only going to do practice 1 and 2. Now, if you remember the stories that you did on this sheet of paper, awesome. If you don't, that's okay. It doesn't matter. You can use any story that we have done in our sandbox, which I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so essentially you're going to pick one of those short stories. You're going to tell me what the theme is, and then you are going to practice being specific, just like we did here, telling me what happened in the story, what happened in your brain. How do you know that is the theme? So again, type the theme, then you're going to tell me exactly what happened in the story here, and then on this side, you're going to tell me how that connects. Sorry. Then you're going to tell me how that connects to you. Maybe you have a personal experience, and then tie it back to that story. How is it that you're trying to prove to me or support why your theme is what it is? So you're going to do two of them. You're going to do practice 1 and practice 2. Now, if you don't know what those particular short stories are, you can go back into this notes and classroom practice examples, and it's right here. Click on the story links, and you can choose any of these. If you have these books at home, awesome. Otherwise, don't do that. These are all links that you can go to get those stories, and then you're essentially going to get the story down so you know what it is. Tell me what the theme is and why you think that. Making sure you have stuff from the story to back up your theme and stuff from your own personal experience to back up your theme. Okay? All right, that's all you need to do. When you get done doing that, I need you to email me saying that you are 100% done with this so I can go in and check that you did those two things. You are not going to turn this assignment in because you still have more practices that we will eventually do in a different class. Okay? So, to recap what you're doing, you are going to email me that reflection piece, and then you are going to basically recreate doing this into that these two practices here with two different stories of your choosing from this link. All right, and then email me when you get done with that. Okay, perfect. That's all I got for you.